Nom Nom delivers fresh food with whole ingredients backed by veterinarian science. Science tells us that a dog's health starts in the bowl, so improving their diet is one of the best ways to help them live a long and happy life. Nom Nom's food is full of proteins your dog loves and the vitamins and nutrients they need to thrive. All you have to do is order, pour, and serve. Ready to make the switch to fresh? Order Nom Nom today. Go to https://trynom.com/curveball and get 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's https://trynom.com/curveball. Plus, Nom Nom comes with a money-back guarantee. If your dog's tail isn't wagging within 30 days, Nom Nom will refund your first order. No fillers, no nonsense, just Nom Nom. Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, I am joined by author, mindset and online fitness coach, nation builder, and planetary coach, Neal Fisher. Neal is going to be talking about building a nation within by helping people reach their fullest potential. He's going to be talking about his story and how he got to this point and why he's so passionate about what he does. So, Neal, thank you so much for joining me today.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me.
Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, no worries. Basically, I'll abbreviate it as briefly as I can. Give us about 5 minutes. In my early 20s, self-education, and I was always looking for a way. Even when I was in high school, I was looking for the way to health, wealth, love, happiness, significance in life. And through my education, I basically decided on day trading seemed great to me because it was something you could do anywhere. You know, the idea of making all this profit just seemed limitless, and it suited my sort of personality and persona. And so I went down that path for a couple of years. But the problem was I was still young and I was still immature. So I had character flaws and blind spots that I wasn't aware of. I became very grandiose and became inflated in my ego and my personality. And as a result, my relationship suffered, my health suffered, and ultimately my success suffered. I stopped doing the things that got me successful in the first place. And it all eventually just crumbled down upon me because I was still smoking drugs at the time. I was still overeating and I just became lazier. That all just compounded on me. So eventually I woke up one day and realized, holy shit, I'm bankrupt. My high school sweetheart, who was my high school sweetheart, the only girl I'd been with, left me for another man, and I was just out of shape. And it was just the most crushing thing I could possibly think of. Like my mother, she was a nurse, and she says, neurotics build castles in the sky, but psychotics live in them. I was living in a castle in the sky. I was living in a fantasy world because I was smoking heaps of marijuana, and I just was delusional. Simple as that. So once that all crumbled around me and I just hit that ultimate rock bottom, I'll never forget it. You know, I was just crying and had thoughts of suicide and just all of the most negative emotions you could possibly have in your life. And luckily for me, I had such one or two just ultra close mates that I grew up with. They helped me emotionally. And then I also had my father who lived nearby, and he was able to support me and help me bring myself out of that hole, because I owned a house at the time, and I'd ultra mortgaged it to get the capital to day trade, and I just blew it all. So I was just in this impossible financial situation and emotional situation. So what comes out of that is having great people and great role models and the right information, but then also the fortitude to go, okay, whatever's in front of you, deal with it. And then from there, over a process of 8 years, I just had to just work my ass off, doing a job that I did not like, that was not of my calling, that was not of my highest potential, which was just construction work because my dad was a construction worker. I could jump into it straight away and make good money to be able to pay off this mountain of debt that I'd accumulated. And in the end, after those 8 years, that whole process just completely elevated and changed my character. I had to ascend all my immature impulses, had to learn the value of perseverance and just slogging it out no matter what, because you've got an end goal in mind. And also in life, it's not what happens, it's who happens. I met real men from the old world. They don't know anything about this digital garbage and all this misidentification and all the mental and emotional problems that are just so prevalent in the world today as a result of, media and the whole global connection that we have. It's a double-edged sword. It creates the opportunity for liberation for anybody, anywhere, but it also creates more pitfalls and more domination. So I'm all about traversing that plane and liberating yourself and using these tools to just just to reach your ultimate form instead of just becoming slaves to it. So, and here we are now. I've just sold my house. I've got a fucking amazing relationship. My health's on track. I'm fulfilled because I've just said sold my house. So I've got the money where I don't have to go and do that construction work anymore. I can do the work now that needs to be done, which is my real work, which is building people, building nations from within.
So speaking of that, I've heard of a mindset coach, fitness coach, all life coach, all this stuff. Tell us what a planetary coach is and how you came up with that.
Yeah, well, I've sort of shifted it to world coach because I've seen, again, mentorship, and people say it's just different language. I just like using language that isn't seen elsewhere. Everyone likes to be different. I just love language. I've always been good at it in school. English language, of course. Planetary coach means basically it's the entire planet. I've gained the ability to free myself mentally, emotionally, and physically. And it means planetary is anybody on this earth can contact me. Anybody, anywhere can be free in spirit, no matter, regardless of the physical circumstances. And when I talk about nation building, it's something it's been a deep interest of mine, is the civilization. Human beings come together and create these, whether they're small or enormous organizations, and we manage to just have this structure that makes everything just move smoothly, and we're able to build and accomplish and elevate and just create these amazing things. So a nation, in the universe, there's patterns. There's the macrocosm and there's the microcosm. A nation, a country, an organization, a group, a tribe, anybody everywhere in all history, present and future, is a part of that. And any structure like that is a representation of an individual human being. If the goal is to take full command of your internal territory, and through that you can be free and elevate on the physical plane. So a nation within is exactly like a nation without. Your consciousness, your spirit, your awareness, that's like the leader, that's the president, that's the incumbent, that's the person that makes things happen. And that has to be clear, otherwise everything else will have flaws and faults. The mind is like the government, it's like the state. It's the keys to power. It's the web of influence. You need to be clear in your consciousness so you can unify your mind in one solid direction, having full accountability for your thoughts, your thinking, your awareness. And you're not being distracted. And once you get that under control, then you can really focus on the body. And the body is the territory of your nation. That's the institutions, that's the population, that's the military of your own self. Become a one-man army. I'm a big proponent of being able to defend yourself. And if you can't defend yourself in the situation, at least being healthy enough and fit enough to escape. So these three aspects of your being, that's what building a nation within is about unifying those so that you are completely sovereign and solid in your existence here on this planet.
Well, explain your definition of a unified man.
A unified man is strong. A unified man is clear. A unified man is in control. A unified man is exactly that, unified. They know who they are. They know where they're going, and they're just going there. They're not getting held back by all the vices and distractions. Like I used to be in my construction culture, drinking. It was a part of what it was, drinking and smoking drugs and eating shithouse unhealthy food. That was part of the culture. That's not unity. And people talk about, oh, you need balance in life. That's not balance. Balance is rest, rejuvenation, spiritual elevation. That's about yoga, things like that. Quality time with family, connection. That's balance. That's yin and yang. So conquering all that crap that just holds you back, like I would like exactly that: drinking, drugs, alcohol, bad food, and also the terrible influences. Whether it's mindless media or it's negative people you're hanging around with, or even just wasting time, or being around people that just put you down or aren't going anywhere, because we're social creatures. We absorb what's in our environment. So as soon as you stop taking back steps, eliminating all the weaknesses, all of your strengths just flourish automatically. Like people say mind over matter. For me, it's matter over mind. You eliminate all the negative in the environment and you clear up your diet and start just doing basic exercise, just start somewhere, all of the negative self-talk of the mind just disappears because it's being congruent with what you're doing. If you're not doing anything, the mind's going to tell you you're nothing. But if you're actually working with your physical body, that's going to affect your mind more than anything. So that's what a unified man is, completely united within and just has a clear direction in life.
Walk the listeners through your daily process that you use to be the unified man that you are.
No worries. I leveraged my existing habits, like anything you're doing in life, that can be used. Like for me, being a concrete construction worker, I was up obscenely early every morning. So for me, getting up before sunrise, it's easy. So basically, get up before the sun rises. Obviously, but I start with critical nutrient ingestion. Like I will have like magnesiums and things like boron and iodine, which are these elements that are just lacking in our diets because of stripped topsoil and things like that. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. So things that are just critical to your physiological functioning. Have a nice shower, warm up, get clear. Then I go into like a meditation, deep breathing phase. And if you know who Wim Hof is, he's pretty damn famous. And the word spirit or spiritual literally means breath or breathing. So I'll go into some deep breathing exercises after I've ingested some critical nutrients and had a nice shower to warm my body up and really get the physiology going, deep breathing and just being grateful to be able to breathe nice, crisp, clear, fresh air. that'll get the body charged. That's what it's all about. We get a lot of our energy from the atmosphere, from oxygen, electricity. So that'll charge you up. And then from there, I'll go straight to the gym, do like a dynamic warm up, and then just hit a gym session, man. And just to really just empower you and just to keep your body in shape and just to get moving, because it's easy to feel good when you look good. I mean, everybody knows this. You do a gym session and you feel great. So it all starts with the body. It all starts with the body and clearing the mind. And then from there, I'll come home. And by then, my beautiful woman, she is rising from bed. So then I'll greet my family. We haven't got kids, but we've got pets and we love them. They're so affectionate, and it's impossible to be depressed when you've got cute, cuddly creatures around you. So, greet the family, feed the family, see how everyone's going. And then from there, it's just straight into solid work. For me, that's creating content, that's posting content, that's writing, that's connecting with people. It could be any sort of thing like that, working on a new project. So the process of becoming a unified man is starting your day with your work. Get your mind and your body right, and then jump into whatever your life's task is. You could be an athlete like me. I'm an author and a coach. You could be a painter. You could be business, whatever it is. Just doing whatever's hardest and whatever is in your heart. Like, everybody knows in their heart what they need to be doing. Everybody knows if they sit with it, they know right from wrong. They know the order from chaos. So that's how I order myself. I do the things that are hardest, but most important. Do those first. And then later in the day, there's going to be curveballs. Obviously, you've got to protect your time, but as long as you just spend those first 5 to 6 hours of your day, if you can just really make that impact in your existence, well, then that's how you're going to find fulfillment and positive self-talk and elevation. Because it's all about the compound effect. Everything you do daily is what you are and is what you will ultimately become.
Well, tell the listeners about your writings as an author.
Yeah, sure, man. Basically, yeah, it's obviously a unified man building a nation within. The book is almost ready. Come on, because I'm releasing it for free to everybody follows me on Instagram. Or if you want a physical copy, well, obviously I can get one printed off and send it to you. So, and obviously charge money for that because it's a cost for me. But if you want it free, follow me on Instagram. But the whole book basically goes from start to finish. Is we talk about the compound effect. We aren't what we think. We aren't what we talk about. We are what we do. Every little thing in life matters. Every thought, every action, everything that comes out of your mouth, it all has an impact. So it's all about choices and habits. What do you do? And awareness. What do you do every day? And what do you want to do? Just making these little shifts in perceptions, ideas, consciousness, awareness, and ultimately actions. That's what's most important. So I give a whole life system, and I'm not a preacher, I'm a leader. This is everything that I do. I'm so passionate about this because I've been there. I've been unhealthy. I've been lazy. I've been immature. I've been an asshole. I've been suicidal. I've had heartbreak. I've been bankrupt. I've been an alcoholic. I've been a drug addict. I've been all those things before, always dependent on external stimulus, which isn't happiness. That's just distraction and dopamine. True fulfillment and pleasure comes from health. So that's what it's about. And it's a full basic financial accountability, strategies of and concept of just not getting into debt, how money works, how the civilization works, character development, I talk about the future of in the present of where this planet is heading. The total we're leading into the technocracy and the age of the super individual. Technocracy is obviously domination of digital technology. And as I alluded to earlier, it's a double-edged sword that gives the ability for anybody anywhere to transcend because of access and influence, but it also leads to more domination because there's just that much more dopamine draining saturation. It can just really bring you down, and it's so easy to do that because it's so marvelously manipulative. So anybody can build influence once they've established their own nation within. They can reach without. They can find others, both physical and online, to really just form their tribe and have an effect. Because the grand mission here is about building the nation and about building the future. The nation is you and I. That is what is most important here. If you want to change the world, change yourself. It's that simple. So once we take command of ourselves, we can then spread that because we all have the same goals in life. We all want to be healthy. We all want to be happy. We all want financial abundance. We all want spiritual enlightenment. My idea is not so much to have a centralized structure, but autonomous decentralization. That's a fancy way of saying everybody has their shit together. And when we collectively, as a species, all have our shit together, we'll automatically move in the same direction of elevation. That's what this book is about. It's about preparing yourself for the present and the future, because whether you're aware of it or not, there's massive changes that are happening to this planet over the next 10, 20, 30 years. It's incredible. So I talk about basically where our civilization and our species is going globally. And I also give strategies and what I do to enrich yourself and to enrich others. And then I go into detail about all of my life systems, what I touched on briefly before. And it's just an entire system, man. It's the system that I use. It's a prepaid timeline. If someone give me this book, and it's not a long book, it's only like 70 pages because it just gets straight to the point. If someone gave me that when I was 18 years old, I wouldn't have had to spend the last 15 years to get to this point. There's problems in life and there's tests and challenges. Problems are boring. That's just the simple stuff like that I'd overcome. Alcohol, misdirection, all that shit. We want to get to true tests of character. Once you get rid of all those problems, then you can get to the real work. You can actually get back to a baseline functioning and then really, really go for it in life.
Well, throw out your contact information so people can keep up with everything that you're up to.
Yeah, man. Right now, just either on Facebook or Instagram, which is the Unified Man, Neal Fisher. My website is still being built, hopefully in the next week and a half. And then the book and everything will be ready. My email is Neal, Neal, Fisher, Fisher, at theunifiedman.com.au. Or just contact me on Instagram and Facebook, and we can get you sorted. We can get you completely unified because that's what I do now. I coach people and help them build themselves from within so they can actually make a difference on this planet by changing their entire world and their entire reality.
We'll close us out with some final thoughts. Maybe if there was something that I forgot to talk about that you would like to touch on, or just any final thoughts you have for the listeners.
Yeah, there is a couple of things here. I've just got my book in front of me. I've got some philosophies that basically govern my life, and I think this will help people, which is successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. What you want to do is getting in the way of what you need to do. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. In life, it's about the compound effect. Volume is the answer, and time is the ingredient. Flow is the fastest way to get there. And the best thing to do in any situation is to breathe. I was just going to say, but apart from that, just listen to your heart. You know when you're not doing the right thing. If you just stop and just take a couple of minutes to just fill out, everybody knows where their flaws are. We all know it. We just ignore it and we just keep sheathing it over with distractions of pleasure. So listen to your heart. Everybody's moral and internal compass points true north. Just do what you need to do. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, and do it for the people that you haven't even met yet. It's like the butterfly effect. As soon as you make one simple decision, that can just change your entire life and it can change the entire lives of others. So do that. Sit with yourself for a few minutes and just do what you know you need to do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Neal, the Unified Man Fisher. Please be sure to check him out. Check out his book, follow, rate, review. Share this episode to as many people as possible. If you have any guests or suggestion topics, cjackson102@cox.net is the place to send them. As always, thank you for listening. And Neal, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your expertise.
Hey, no worries. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. Once again, people, follow me on the Instagram, The Unified Man, or Facebook. Just give me a message. You'll be talking straight to me. And that's what it's about, being real. Just, as they say, keep it real.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.